Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's an example yesterday I saw of this woman who's been here. I mean, we might even play this clip. She's been here 20 years. She has 3 kids who were born here. Her kids are because of birthright citizenship, which is another subject that's coming up. And she's never bothered to even try to resolve her immigration status. Not in 20 years. She has never tried to resolve her immigration status. Not through Republican presidents, not through Democratic presidents, nothing. And so now, she's worried about being deported because they put out the sob story of this woman. Well, that's not the average person they're even looking at right now. The average person they're looking at crossed in the last 3 years are... CNN is cutting jobs to embrace the digital future. No, they're cutting jobs because, as I like to say, they suck. CNN is undergoing significant restructuring, planning to lay off about 200 employees, which constitutes approximately 6% of its workforce. This move is part of a broader strategy under CEO Mark Thompson to pivot towards a digital-first approach, focusing on expanding digital subscriptions and reducing costs from traditional TV operations. Wait a minute. Didn't they already try the CNN subscription service, which failed miserably? Which, if you truly have compassion for trans kids, you would allow them to all go through puberty, because 90% of kids who think they're trans change their mind once they go through puberty. That puberty is the fix for most of the problems. But you guys want the medicalization of kids and sterilization of kids and medical and surgical altering of kids who can't make that decision at 12 years old or 13 years old. Why is it when I try to show empathy and concern, people always misconstrue it? Last time I asked someone if their mom at least got a good check from the clinic that botched the abortion. Oh! Oh, God. Damn it, AD. I think you just need to find a gentle way.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
I would be willing to bet everything I own that submitting a 22-minute video montage that shows the most egregious acts of violence you can find from that day, when the defendant in question is on that video for only 6 seconds and the scene walking calmly, is highly prejudicial and a violation of the defendant's due process rights. The person was found guilty and sentenced to 19 months in prison. Now, it took 2 hours to read through all of the documents that were in the case file. Every motion submitted by the defendant was denied. Every motion by the defendant was denied. How often does that happen? And every motion submitted by the government was granted. They turned a trespass misdemeanor that would have resulted in a $50 ticket into 5 misdemeanors and a felony charge by charging the defendant with a statute that would have required the Secret Service to rope off the section he was in, which they did not. They also charged him with a statute that would have required them to prove Mike Pence was in the building at the time he walked through that corridor. He was not. And they used an Enron statute that the Supreme Court struck down. If you accept a pardon, you are admitting guilt. Period. That's the, because you can't be pardoned if you're not guilty.
Whether he can preemptive pardon, whether he can issue President's reportedly asking his staff whether he can issue preemptive pardons for himself, his family members, Rudy Giuliani. There's a simple answer: no. No, Mr.
Oh,
that
you
would be a
can't?
gross abuse
Oh,
of the presidential
it's a
pardon authority.
gross abuse of presidential pardon authority. Well, there you go. You accepted a pardon, Adam Kinzinger. You think you may have committed a crime. Oh, here, Jamie Raskin. Dirty Q-tip. Dirty Q-tip, Jamie Raskin. What else? What did he have to say?
Well, the seeking of pardons
Yes,
is
it's only on
powerful
one side.
demonstration of the consciousness of guilt, or at least the consciousness that you may be in trouble.
Jamie
And that's
Raskin.
what's so shocking
Did he get a
about
pardon
this.
also? Wasn't he on
Well,
that committee?
The seeking of pardons is...
He was on that committee. I'm curious if you're going to condemn that part. Are you going to condemn that pardon?
You know, Joe Biden pardoned a lot of people. Yeah, he should answer for that and explain.
Lots of murderers, lots of drug dealers, lots of people who killed people, commuted the sentence of a couple murderers. One who, in fact, one drug dealer who people died from taking the drugs that they sold them.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
The Obama Aniston rumors have gone wild. Rumors have emerged on social media that suggest Barack and Michelle Obama might be heading towards divorce, with speculators linking Barack Obama to actress Jennifer Aniston. Those rumors have gained traction following Michelle Obama's absence from Jimmy Carter's funeral and the inauguration, and are based on tabloid stories and social media speculation without solid confirmation from the individuals involved. So far, they're still rumors, and I don't know why people are perpetuating them, but it is kind of fun to perpetuate rumors like that. No one's come out to, out and out deny anything. That's the weird part.
We should just take a deep breath and acknowledge the audacity.
The audacity!
Of a president who's so clearly concerned about his own criminal culpability.
Oh my God, his own criminal culpability and his son's business dealings. I know that they're talking about Joe Biden, aren't they?
And that of his family members.
Like the boy asked, are cats really soul suckers? Yes. Yes. That's why I'm not into cats. Dogs, man. I'm a dog guy. Avocado Stably, is there an aisle in the grocery store that is less objectionable to have sex in? Where do you come up with this shit? Dude.
Has done something no person in the world has ever done before. A dead man, a dead politician has risen.
Yes.
Somebody who if we were 4 years ago at Davos, he's buried, a dead.
And I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding Donald Trump's demise that has failed. I wonder how many people at Davos, again, let me say it again. I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding what they had hoped would be Trump's demise. I bet you there's a few of them there. And it didn't work, did it now? Didn't work now, did it?
Politically known to me. He's now returned. This is the greatest comeback in political history of a politician. And then, therefore, he thinks he can do anything.
End of the show, every day on my show, if I put something on the screen or I'm talking about it, or it's a topic or an article that I'm presenting in this show, I provide links to every single thing that I've talked about, and even more, the ones I didn't even get to. I drop them in the chat at the end of the show, and also I drop them in the description. So if you want to find these articles, they will be in the links at the end of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only PDawgKnight.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, people? I hope you're having a great Thursday morning. Shall we get this thing started? Hell yeah, let's go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. Welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel. I don't know why I said it like that, just because I talk that way sometimes. Who knows why? Anyway, hi, happy you're here. And I must wait. Is AD here yet? Oh no, I hope I didn't make AD mad. Well, as soon as AD gets here, I screwed up and missed one of my Streamlabs yesterday, and I don't get them that often, so there's no excuse for missing it. But sometimes I get caught up when I'm doing it. I miss one, and I go, and then people got mad at me at the end of the show, which I don't know if he was mad at me or not, but we'll find out. We'll find out if I survive the wrath of the one and only Avocado Damme. But anyway, I got to short the show today. Unfortunately, I have a funeral to go to, so I'm probably going to cut out a little earlier than normal. So what I decided to do today is do a continuation of what we were doing yesterday. I still have a bunch of videos and that we've been watching, and we're going to go through some of them. These are more the ones today. Most of them are just stuff I agree with. I do want to start doing some of people that are just goofy to me too. But these today are mostly in some ways inspiring, some are informational, some are more hopeful, some will make you go, oh yeah, that makes sense. So anyway, we'll do that after I say hi to everybody and go through some trending topics. First today in the chat is the Pope. Yes, Pope Tyrannus III, the Blessed Lich, gets the bell. Congratulations, Tyre, for being first. Also, good morning, Somnambul Nation. It's Mike Savage, Blarg. Number one is in the house. Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadians here. Also, good morning to Bookworm Addict. Anon 1, 2, 3. Coming over from Monkey Stream. I was over at Monkey Stream this morning for a little bit. Also, good morning, Blue Eyed Scream. Green Badger Outdoors. Tyler F. And Reaction Puerto Rico, you lovely island of tropical breezes. I love that song. And Miss Wild Wolf is in the house. Good morning. So as people slowly stroll in, you can let people know that it's going to be a short show today. I got to leave it about quarter after. My and prayers for Lady Boomer and the family. Her uncle passed away, and today is the funeral, so we're gonna be leaving a little early just so I get there on time. Thanks to people who shared the show. Also, lots of you have done that. Somnambul Nation, Resolute Germ, Jaeger Pony, Ty Alexander. Also, some of the gifs of the day. We'll get to those in a second. Let me and also. Oh, I didn't retweet this one though. Right? There's Reaction Puerto Rico with the dance video, and there's that one, and Big Sexy. Okay, well I know you can't see these yet because I'm gonna scroll them all the way down. Okay, so here we go. Here are the sharers, the carers. Thank you, Somnambul Nation, tweeting out the show. As always, I've reposted that. Ty Alexander with the daily Ric Flair. Woo! Also, thank you. This one. Oh, it's not even playing. Why isn't it playing? A little A-Team van. Now, I should have made you guys guess what that is in the chat, but that is that is BJ Baracus's van from the A-Team. And then a little wrestling, little Big Sexy there. I can't remember his name. They called him Big Sexy, whatever his name is. And Dan Aykroyd, I don't know what this one's doing. It's just a wow. Is that a wow? Yeah, it is. Wow, FTG Thursday already? Yes, it is here already. Thank you, Somnambul Nation. And then a little Napoleon Dynamite from Reaction Puerto Rico. Oh, some more. There's more. Wait, there's more. Mike Savage with the Let Us Go. And And then we got another woo with Miss Wild Wolf throwing up that funny looking squirrel. That's a funny shit right there. Yeah, vote for Pedro. Good morning, Nomad. I see you in the house.
Hammer time.
All right, there you go. So, like I said, it's going to be a little bit of a continuation of yesterday. I've got some more videos to watch, but also I want to get some main topics. Now, I haven't, what I haven't done this morning, I haven't opened a ton of links today. Oh, what's I see Anna Navarro there? What is going on here? She's over there. I don't need it here. Well, what was here before? Hang on a second. I just want to make sure I don't, okay, there's nothing there. I'll just close that. Wait, what the hell? Is that the wrong tab? Oh, it was. Duh. Okay, this should be it. Is that going back? Okay, that goes back to training times. Okay, so anyway, first of the month, Rabbit, for those who didn't do it. I'm a little late for that, though. Good morning, Big Dave, by the way. Yeah, it's Rabbit, and I'm missing Rabbit in the stream. I'm bummed out here. Anyway, yesterday, Lucas Diabli with a small boat in the tip jar yesterday said, fuck Al Gore, I hate him just for not beating that bitch ex-wife of his more, for ever letting her facial swelling go down enough to talk. Ooh, ouch. Ouch, babe. Ouch, babe. Yeah, that's something. Okay, now, do I need that? I don't even need this. I highlight a few of the trending topics today. No, not Gravid Rabbit. Rabbit. Not Rabbit Rabbi. Or Rabbit Ribeye. None of the above. I'm just looking at the chat. There's people asking questions. So anyway, today is May Day, so all the communists are out protesting today, and this is the May Day trending topic tab in. Now, I got to be careful because I noticed when I scrolled through this before, there were some definite body parts doing things that you just don't want to see on, in a children's show. So anyway, here is, this is Happy May Day. Look, comrade, the line for bread is only 6 hours long today. That's funny. What up, monkey? Good morning, sir. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, I think that's a funny one. Good. Look, the line for bread is only 6 hours long today. Monkey knows a little about the bread people, right? I know you do. All right. And then, let's see. Errol Muslim Man says, I wasn't going to talk about this, but I'll put this on the screen here. So this dude, in Florida, this has nothing to do with May Day, but Muslim Man says he's buying churches all over Florida and converting them into mosques. We convert 3 churches into mosques, and we're looking for more. One day Florida will become Muslim. That's here. I'll play it. Here, listen.
We are buying these churches. We bought 3 churches so far.
Now there's a lot of churches in Florida. Let me just say something.
Have one.
There are a shit ton of churches in Florida. Let me just say, Florida is a very big state, and I'm not sure he's going to convert the entire state of Florida. But it is concerning that that's the goal, is to convert everyone into to Islam. Anyway,
we are buying with a school to make it, because we have to serve the same people. People who were part of that community. Yeah. One day they will be Muslims.
Will they?
So
how do you know that?
Into a masjid and an Islamic school for our children and their children, inshallah.
No.
100 years ago,
leave my children. Teacher,
world.
Leave them kids alone. No, thank you.
And they built missionary schools and destroyed Islamic schools and masjids. Today, we bring the favor back.
So they're going to turn it back.
Turn their churches into masjids and their schools into Islamic schools. Bring the light of Islam to here. We're able to buy ready to go institutions that have been there for a long time, but they emptied out. And now it is time to be filled with Muslims, with reverts, converts. This is an election year.
Okay, so here's the thing. This is the land of freedom, religion, and stuff, and I guess I don't really care, but no Islam, no peace. No Islam, no peace. Yes, number one. Read number one in the chat there. Wait, good morning, number one. Nice to have you here. All right, so yeah, I wasn't planning even playing that, but I just saw it. I was going to talk about May Day because there was a lot of people. All the comrades are out planning on having protests and shit today. I'm sure if I go down to the Minnesota Capitol today after this funeral, I will find people out there protesting. Also, they were protesting the 100 days yesterday. And there's this, you know, the one thing that Trump does very well is he increases employment by paid protesters and I guess the non-paid protesters who just do it for a hobby. So anyway, happy May Day. May Day in some places is just a happy that it's coming. The spring is coming. But again, the comrades are all out protesting. In fact, what's weird though is earlier when I went through this thing, it was all about May Day protest. Oh, here we go. For example, here's one. Peace. They are fighting for the 1%. We are fighting for all Louisvillians. Or I would say Louisvillans in this case. Peaceful march and protest May Day, May 1st. We are many. They are the few. Stop the billionaire takeover. You know, it's funny. I'm pretty sure that the majority of the country voted for the billionaire. Well, I wouldn't say billionaire takeover, but you know what I mean. But we voted for this. That's democracy. And if you want to try to vote them out next time, that's your prerogative. It's your prerogative. Anyway, I'm just rambling now. So anyway, May Day, that's big. And then also it's a National Day of Prayer for people who pray. And Franklin Graham on April 17, 1952, a bill initiated by Mr. Conrad Hilton of Hilton Hotels and Senator Frank Carlson of Kansas was passed to establish the National Day of Prayer. I'm grateful there's a day set aside to recognize and remind us the vital importance of prayer for our nation and our leaders, including our president, Donald Trump. We need to thank God for the many abundant blessings that have come from his hand and humbly ask his forgiveness, mercy, help, guidance, and protection, not just today, but every day. Let us declare in God we trust. So there you go. We even put it on the money. So yes, our Judeo-Christian tradition, whatever. Now we have a National Day of Prayer, although it's not official. I don't think it's. I mean, but they do anyway. They have the National Prayer Breakfast and all that stuff. So anyway, that's going back to the roots of the founding. Other things trending. I put in the list today twerking, and I guess this will qualify as one of these videos today since I'm doing it's a video day again. We're doing a video day. I mentioned that earlier. This story is very sad. Out of, I can't remember what city this is out of, but we'll just watch it. Unfortunately, this girl lost her life, and it's very sad. Here's the story.
You can only imagine the parents' pain when they got the news that their youngest of 5, Nyla Simmons, right here, was gone. But their pain pierced even deeper when they learned how she died. Nyla graduated from Parkway North High School last year. A social butterfly, her parents say, who just loved having a good time. She was supposed to start cosmetology school today, but her life was cut too short. Police say that she was struck and killed by a St. Louis fire truck late Saturday night, a little before 11:30.
So that is sad in itself. But the reason she was struck by the truck, and I'm not going to make it, I don't want to make jokes about it, other than maybe this should stop. Listen.
She was attending a friend's prom send-off just before this tragedy. Investigators say an Escalade stopped at a red light right there at the corner of Shoto and South Compton. When the SUV turned left, Nyla, who was dancing on top of the car, fell off. Well, not long after, she was hit by a fire truck as it was responding to a call.
She fell off the top of the Cadillac because she was on top dancing. I don't know if she was twerking or whatever, and then when she fell off, there was a fire truck headed to a call that hit her, and she died. It's very sad.
We all been young before. Yeah. We all done did some type of things where it could have ended up bad for us.
We just wanted the best for Nyla. Nyla, the incident, it's just tragic the way she died.
Yes.
But that's what hurt the most, the way she died. When Nyla was out having fun, that's what she liked, having fun, hanging with her friends.
Wow, you know.
Yes, shrapnel. Dumb ways to die. But, you know, so listen, If you are tempted to ride around on the top of SUV twerking, I would suggest making sure the vehicle is stationary. So anyway, that's unfortunate. So, but unfortunately, we see it a little too often. That's it. Tragic, maybe. Stupid, yes. Yeah, definitely. All right. Speaking of tragedies, another tragedy happened at a Pittsburgh Pirates game yesterday, and I'm reluctant to show the video. So I'm gonna put the video in the links today. But I'm going to leave. Oh, shoot. Let me pause. I don't want to show it. So in this picture, you see this second tier of stands here. And the Pirates apparently hit a home run. And this guy was a little bit drunk and he jumped up. And he ended up from this part of the tier to the field. As in he fell and flipped and tumbled to the ground. He was hospitalized and put in I guess I don't know what condition he is because they haven't really updated it. You can watch that happen in this video. I'm not going to play it just because YouTube and shit. But, and some people were saying that he jumped. In fact, someone down here. I don't know if it's down here. People joking about the guy seemingly jumping out of excitement and losing his balance are genuinely disgusting people. He fell in a stance and landed on the ground and got hurt very badly. Now, there is an update to that. The update is, this is someone who was sitting 5 rows behind him. He was drunk. Inning before, he ripped off his shirt and poured half a beer all over himself. Then he jumped up from his seat when the Pirates got the hit. He jumped up so quick while being drunk, he literally propelled himself off the ledge. He didn't do it on purpose, and no one pushed him. He was there with his girlfriend, a friend, and another lady. The friend ran to the lower deck in the center field, and center field jumped into the field to go help him. And the game was stopped for about 15 minutes while the paramedic people on hand took him off the field, and they took him to a local hospital. I don't know for sure. Again, I haven't seen any updates on whether, I guess the update, he's probably not dead because they would have told you that. So anyway, if you're going to be drunk at a baseball game and you're in the upper deck, you may want to be careful of the railing. So there you go. Next, Ana Navarro is trending, and I haven't even seen the clip, but we're going to watch it right now. Ana Navarro tried to compare illegal immigrants. Wait a minute, hang on a second. Hold on. It's allergy season. Okay. Apparently, Ana Navarro tried to compare illegal aliens to slaves. And I hate it when people try to compare things that have no comparison whatsoever. Like when they compare Trump to Hitler. Yeah, he's Hitler. Or this one. So let's see how this went with Ana Navarro. And apparently, Sir Michael Singleton calls her out, and a total meltdown ensues. We're going to watch this for the first time. So I have not seen this. And I'm going to be probably pulling what little hair I haven't shaved off already out. That was my guess. Here we go. Let's just listen to this bullshit.
No, I know you're not. This country illegally, you are going home. Simple as that. We do not have unlimited resources.
I think a lot of Americans
to take care of other people.
There's a hell of a lot of people other than the black people who were brought here as slaves who came to this country illegally.
There are not the same black people who were brought here against their will.
That's exactly what I just said. I said there is a lot of people other than the black people.
There is a big difference.
That's exactly what I just said.
There is a big difference.
That's exactly what I just said, Sir Michael.
Okay, to be fair, she did say that. She said other than black people. I'm going to play it again just so you hear it again.
No, I know you're not.
This country illegally, you are going home.
She's saying everyone. She's saying everybody came here illegally. No, they didn't, because the laws were written by the people who were here, and that's when they became people coming to this country illegally. And guess what, Anna? You cannot go into any other country in the world illegally and not be deported or possibly even jailed for years on end. In a lot of countries, you go in their country illegally, go to jail. What is she arguing here?
I have unlimited resources.
I think a lot of Americans
to take care of other people.
There's a hell of a lot of
people
people other than the black people who were brought here as slaves who came to this country illegally.
They're not the same as black people who were brought here against our will.
Okay, he must have misheard her because she said the same thing. But I don't care. Still, saying this, there's a lot of people who came here illegally other than the black. What was illegal on back then?
What I just said, I said there is a
Hello, Rock Opera.
There's a big difference. There is a big difference.
That's exactly what I just said.
Difference.
That's exactly what I just said, Sir Michael. Look and act indignant. That's exactly what I just said.
Let me just share Michael.
Other than the black
Anna and share Michael,
please. There are a lot of people from many
Michael, I think you
countries
actually
that came
misheard
here
what
illegally.
I think you misheard what she said.
No, he purposely misheard.
She said.
I purposely misheard. So now you're in my brain.
Share Michael, listen to me for just a second.
Is that where we're going?
Share Michael.
I would say I who have advocated for black people my entire life would say something like that.
Oh, thank you, Anna, for advocating for us poor black folks all your life, Anna. Thank you so much. Yeah, he misheard her. Come on. He will admit that. Hi, Linda Hunter, by the way. And Rock Hopper, I think I said already. And Darren Root. And who's here?
Because you've advocated for black people, great.
Stop.
Congratulations. Last time I checked, I'm black. You're not.
Okay, share Michael.
That's right. I'm Latino, and my people are being racially profiled.
And do I have to remind you the history of my people?
Share
If you
Michael.
want to go there?
No, I don't.
Do you really want to go
we're
there?
going to go to break.
Oh, Lord.
We're going to go to break. Raul Reyes, thank you very much for joining us. Everybody else, hang tight. We'll be right back.
When I was studying history.
Okay, so that went off the rails. I'm going to just tell you that he misheard her. I'm going to give her some credit. Well, I don't know. I'm going to give her credit because then she started with, well, a lot of people came here illegally. Well, we weren't a country when people were coming here illegally. And what's illegally, at the point, people migrated illegally, in her mind, all over the world for all times ever until countries were formed. So, and then the countries made laws, and so that now it's illegal to do it. All right, other quick news before I get to some videos here, which I'm through some videos. This is unbelievable. These judges have lost their minds with the GD in the middle. Good morning, Special Can Acid. On the honorable list of favorite Canadians, what's up? Judge orders suspect behind the firebombing of a Missouri Tesla to be released from federal custody. The judges are now just making up shit now. Federal judge ordered the suspect behind the firebombing of a Tesla dealership in Kansas City, Missouri, to be released from federal custody ahead of his upcoming court date. U.S. Magistrate Judge Jessica Hedges agreed that Owen McIntyre, 19, a student at the University of Massachusetts Boston, should be released after McIntyre's lawyer argued he be released, noting that he has no criminal record and that he has strong ties to his community in Missouri. At least they're calling him a he. I think. Who's calling him a he? McIntyre's lawyers also argued that he be released, noting that his medical and mental health needs. Yeah, your mental defect is going and firebombing a Tesla dealership. What are you talking about? He's reportedly been diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, depression, and gender dysphoria, according to current records. Well, oh my. Yeah, which means if that probably explains the trans thing. Breitbart News Amy Furr reported that McIntyre had been accused of firebombing the Kansas City Tesla dealership with Molotov cocktails and that he is facing federal charges, which include a single count of unlawful possession of unregistered destructive device and one count of malicious damage by fire of any property used in interstate commerce. So then they had a press release here. So again, judges, is this person dangerous? It may be warranted that this person's released. They put him on a bond, anything? I didn't see that. So who knows how that goes. Another judge in Florida has ordered police to stop enforcing his state immigration law. Really? Police in Florida have been ordered to stop enforcing immigration law in that state. A federal judge ruled this week. U.S. District Judge Kathleen Williams ruled that an order blocking police from enforcing state immigration law applies to all authorities. According to Fox News, Williams also told attorneys for the state during a hearing in Miami on Tuesday that she planned to issue a preliminary injunction against a statute that makes it a misdemeanor for undocumented migrants to enter Florida by eluding immigration officials. The ruling came in spite of Florida Attorney General James Altmaier's telling local police in his state that they did not have to follow her original order. Williams called Altmaier's dismissal offensive. Aww. What I am offended by is someone suggesting you don't have to follow my order. That is not legitimate, Williams said. Earlier in the month, Williams issued a temporary restraining order against the statute, noted Fox. Governor Ron DeSantis signed the legislation into law in February as part of President Donald Trump's push to crack down on illegal immigration. So she's saying you are not allowed to obey the new law in Florida. Go figure. I'm sure she has a wonderful reason for that. And then finally, a couple other things. Oh, you know that the blackout in Spain, they had no electricity for about a day or so. Well, here's something funny. Spanish grid operator warned of nation's heavy reliance on renewable energy in February. There was a day after Spain and Portugal were hit by extensive blackouts. Electricity had returned to most of both countries on Tuesday, leaving many relieved, but also sharply critical about what exactly caused the power failure. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez of Spain said his country had recovered more than 95% of the total supply by 6:30 a.m. Tuesday. In Portugal, a spokesman for the electricity and gas supplier REN said that power had been restored to all of the substations of the country's grid and that everything was 100% operational. Now, let's see. Where's the thing about the grid operator, though? We know about the outage. Meanwhile, Spanish grid operator REE has ruled out a cyber attack and had essentially warned in February that their power system relied too much on renewable energy and had no appropriate backup system in place should there be problems. Shocker. It said it identified 2 incidents of power generation loss, probably from solar plants in the Spain's southwest, that caused instability in the electric system and led to a breakdown of its interconnection with France. Spain is one of Europe's biggest producers of renewable energy, and that the blackout sparked debate about whether the volatility of supply from solar or wind made its power system more vulnerable. Well, yeah, if the wind's not blowing and the sun's not shining, you're fucked. How's that sound? So anyway, anyone surprised? If you're surprised by that, put 00 in the chat. If you're not surprised, we'll just put up an L for losers. So there you go. There's your choice. If you're surprised, 00. If you're not surprised, single L for losers. And then finally, before we get some videos here, because I'm going to make sure I get through some of these videos, the White House yesterday dropped this in the on the White House webpage. 100 days of hoaxes. This is celebrating the 100 days of Trump. 100 days of hoaxes, cutting through the fake news, where they put a list of some of the hoaxes that have been going on since the administration started, and they got a lot of them. They look like they have at least 100 up here. Let's just go through a couple examples. Let's see. First one, fake news. This hoax number one, fake news. CNN attempted to fact check President Trump's claim that the Biden administration spent millions on making mice transgender. After the so-called fact check was thoroughly debunked, they were forced to update it in disgrace and admit the claim was in fact true. So what do they put in links for the thoroughly debunked and the update? Let's see what they put here. Let's see. Here's the fact. Under Biden administration, the National Institute of Health doled out millions of taxpayer dollars funds for grants for institutions across the country to perform transgender experiments on mice. 155,000 a mouse model to test the effects of gender-affirming hormone therapy and HIV vaccine-induced immune responses. $2.5 million reproductive consequences of steroid hormone administration. These mice manifest defects in ovarian architecture and have altered folliculogenesis, which I have no idea what folliculogenesis is. So they gave several examples where they were altering mice so that they could study different things, how different things affect transgender mice. So it was true. And then there's hundreds of these. You can go through this yourself. I'm not going to spend any more time on this because I want to see videos today. At least it's on mice and not people this time. Well, yeah, I mean, that's how you do research. Of course, some of this research is like fucking Frankenstein shit. Why are they? Never mind. If you want to be that when you're an adult, preferably after you're 25 and your brain is fully developed, go for it. Otherwise, leave the kids alone, motherfuckers. I'm just saying. Okay. Let's get into some videos today. Let's leave where we left off yesterday. We're gonna start here. I gotta do this quick and pause quickly. Did I do it? Oh, I did it. Look at that. All right, let's start with more climate stuff. This is from the Laura Ingraham show, apparently, and this is a clip again. We're doing some Insta stuff. Here we go. No, there is no climate crisis.
Our next guest was once a climate alarmist, but now says the entire movement is, quote, a scam. Tom Harris is the executive director of the International Climate Science Coalition. He joins me now. Tom, good to see you tonight. Now, you actually say the only way to get rid of this is to go after the science of climate change.
Hey, the science of climate change is big business right now. How do you think Elon Musk got so rich? Anyway.
Explain.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people will say, well, Canada, for example, puts out so little greenhouse gas emissions that we shouldn't actually try to reduce it because China is double the United States. Well, the trouble is people argue that, well, yes, but we have to set an example to the world and we have to be good citizens and all that sort of thing. So they're using these arguments quite often that China's doubled the emissions of the U.S., et cetera. But the real underlying thing is that there is no climate crisis.
What? Wait a minute. I thought Miami was going to be underwater by 2020. I thought there was going to be no glaciers on Kilimanjaro by 2020. Wait, what year is this? What year is it? 2025? Oh, that deadline already passed? Never mind.
I was originally an aerospace engineer, and I would give speeches and I wrote articles. I wrote one in the Ottawa Citizen about comparative planetology, how studying the planets helps us understand the Earth better. And I used the example of the runaway greenhouse effect on Venus. I said, this could happen on the Earth if we don't reduce carbon dioxide. Well, a local professor at Carleton University, professor of geology, he liked my article.
Carleton in Canada, not the one in Northfield, Minnesota.
So much he used it in his course on climate change. But he said to the students, but that part about Venus is wrong. What happened on Venus cannot physically happen on the Earth, and he explained why. Now, I thought, who is this climate change denier? Well, he invited me into his lab, and he showed me the geologic history that he and others are finding, and they found no consistent correlation between carbon dioxide and Earth's temperature. At times, CO2 was...
it's funny is the client scientists know that fact. They know that when they go through the ice core samples and all that, the research, that the carbon came after the warming, not before. They all know that, but they still push the narrative. And also the fact that the Earth is getting greener, which is very important and also a good thing. But anyway.
1,300% of today, and we were stuck in very cold conditions. So it was all over the board. So I started wondering, well,
no correlation.
Maybe he's right. He exposed me to a lot of people who actually showed me that there are thousands of scientists. And here's a book actually that illustrates.
Yeah, oh, by the way, because remember, all the scientists agree, right? They all agree. No, they don't? No, they don't.
It's called Climate Change Reconsidered. And this is on climatechangereconsidered.org. There are thousands of references here which talk about the fact that there is no foundation to the climate scare. It's all based on models that don't work.
Climate changes. Climate changes. It has always changed. And we saw the temperature record, the the graph yesterday that we're in a cool historic period right now. In fact, maybe then they can start talking about, oh, new ISIS is going to come. They're going to go back to the 70s. So, all right, that's one. Let's try the next one here. Let's see. I don't even know what this is. This is this one's regarding Congress, everyone's favorite subject. Hang on here. Let me make sure I get the mute off.
Look at how many members of Congress outperformed him, and not by 5%, not by 6 or 7 or 10.
This is
by 4.
This is talking about how well people in Congress do in the stock market, and they use as a control Warren Buffett. Now, if you see this little yellow arrow at the bottom, that's Warren Buffett's returns over the years, and then they're going to go like the rest of Congress. And I thought this was just the entire graph. Wait till you see this shit scrolling.
40, 50, 60,
it keeps
70,
going
up to 149% annual returns. Warren Buffett has been...
And it's Republicans and Democrats doing this shit, and they need to restrict stock trading among our Congress people.
Doing this for 60 years. He's never had 149% year. He's never had 105%. He's never. And meanwhile, we have half a dozen members of Congress buying stocks on their cell phones sporadically, outperforming the best year in the history of the best investor who's ever lived. It's like, you know, we don't need Murder, She Wrote to crack this thing open. Clearly, they are cheating the system.
All right, so there you go. What's the next one I have here? Let's try this one. I have no idea. This is oh, why did I save this one? Let's just to see what it is. I'm not even sure now. Hang on a second. Let me pause it. Let's see. This is something happening. This is some sort of an arrest. I don't know what this is about. Here we go. All right.
Married for 28 years to my husband, who is being deported right now by ICE.
Oh, that's right.
28 years. He's been here over 30 years, and I want everybody to know, nobody gives a shit if you have family, if you have kids. They don't give a shit if they're taking your husband or your father away. They are taking my husband away. These are FBI agents who work for Border Patrol. Okay? I want everybody to know.
Wait, FBI agents that work for Border Patrol or just CBP? Or CBP, not CBP, CBP.
Oh, my family was just separated. They have taken my kid's father and they don't give a shit. They have taken my husband away. I want everybody to know. They have taken my husband away. They don't care if they're separating family.
Hello, Evanes.
I need somebody to help me. I want everybody to know what they're doing. They are taking my husband away. They don't give a shit.
Now, I do feel bad for this woman who very likely knew that her husband was an illegal alien and probably has been living in the shadows for all of these 30 years, except when Democrats are in power, and never did anything to rectify a situation. In fact, I had some friends who had a brother. He was here illegally. And, but the brother, they said, nope, we got to fix it. We got to make it so he can stay here. Okay, thanks, Miss Wildwolf. I see you guys sent a DM. You need to get legal, dude. And he went back and ended up finding a way to get a green card and came back. But in the comments here, people are not very. I want to go through some of these comments because people are not. She said, they don't give a shit. Yeah, a lot of people in the comments don't give a shit. Over 30 years and still illegal. Who else turn the sound off and read the comments? And so someone says, so go with them. This one says, that's not ICE. Their vest clearly said FBI. What did he do to get the FBI on him? Yeah, this may not, maybe he did do something else illegal. Hello, Andrew Thorsten. 30 years and he never got his citizenship. Seems like he had plenty of time. Oh, really? Yeah. 30 years is enough for him to be responsible in America. No need to cry. Just follow him back to Mexico and enjoy it. And if he's from Mexico, who knows where he's from? Now let's check that criminal record. Yeah, the FBI was after him. So, boy, a lot of people are not very sympathetic. And that's just awful that people are not sympathetic to her plight. All right, let's see. What's the next one? I got time here. I can't remember what this one is. We're just going to play it. I have no idea what this one is, but we're going to find out. Hang on a second. Let me make sure I get the good pause. And, all right. This young lady. This. I know exactly what this has to do with immigration, too. Hey, Balin Bobby, what's up? Now, so we've had a lot of controversy about Mr. Kilmar Abrego Garcia and the illegal people who came here illegally, whether you want to call them illegal aliens or illegal border crossers or just criminals. Not all criminals. I mean, well, I guess it is a crime. So anyway, the big thing is recently the Supreme Court said that, everyone has to have due process, right? And first of all, due process in the illegal alien area is a little bit different than due process for everybody else, and that's by law. But this young lady makes a fantastic point about the so-called due process that these people are not getting. Okay? So here we go. This is very well done here. Listen to this.
So if you followed me for a while, you know that I don't exactly love Trump, but I love to point out hypocrisy now that Trump's in office. So let's get into a new one. If someone talks to you about people being deported, having no due process, actually in this case, in this administration, there's only been one person that's been deported without due process. I urge you to...
And she's referring to Abrego, but that's not even true. He's had his due process. The only thing that they did wrong is they sent him to the wrong country when they deported him, or at least that's what their claim is, that he went to the wrong country, even though he's a citizen of El Salvador. And the problem in El Salvador that he was not, supposedly protected from, no longer exists. But even in that case, I wouldn't say that he did not get due process. He's already had this deportation orders for 6 years now. Okay, let's continue.
Ask them this question. Did you know that 75% of Obama's deportations had no due process? Meaning that they bypassed judicial oversight.
And again, what is due process when it comes to illegal aliens? Are they required to have a hearing before you deport them? Or if they come across the border and you know that they're not crossing the border legally, they're immediately subject to removal. That's my understanding. Now, I'm just a legal midget, but who knows?
They bypassed the immigration courts. They bypassed seeing a judge.
You don't even need why do you even need an immigration court?
To make decisions on the spot, day to day as they came. And just like that, deported, no court hearing, no list of rights. Actually, did you know that in just 2012 alone, there were over 312,000 people deported that had no due process? They never went.
Yeah, and so now my question is, so 300, and she goes through a couple other examples, but 312,000, say, for 2012, okay? Has any judge ordered that we facilitate their return to the country so they can get due process? I bet they haven't done that, and I bet they never will. But now all of a sudden, you got to bring people back to go through another process? Interesting.
In front of a court, an immigration hearing, nothing. They were just taken off the street and sent back, no questions asked. That was just in 2012. He was president from 2009 to 2017, where
the deporter-in-chief,
approximately 3 to 5 million deportations took place, and 75% of them had no due process. But here's the difference.
So roughly 3.2 million, is that about right? 75%? Yeah, 3 something there. 3.4 million. No, just deported. Bam. Because that is the due process for illegal aliens.
You didn't see any media outlets or any politicians not only flying to the places that those people were deported to bring them back home, but then arguing the Obama administration, suing the Obama administration, calling him an anti-constitutionalist. He wants to abolish the Constitution.
Because the executive branch is in charge of that, not the judicial branch. That's the purview of the executive branch.
And he's a dictator. He's taking people's rights away. So let's see, people's rights are getting taken away over one person, but Obama's millions of people deported without due process wasn't taking people's rights away. It was, well, you know, yeah, we criticized him. And honestly, that's BS, because I vividly remember 0 Democratic politicians coming forward and saying that that's unconstitutional. That's an abolishment of rights. So am I saying that Trump is right in all of his actions? No, absolutely not.
It was my understanding that illegals aren't entitled to due process. Well, the due process is just different. It is due process to deport them. And I don't think I don't even know you necessarily are required to have a hearing for it. And I think they actually wrote that into law. So that's interesting.
What I'm saying is that you guys are loud and proud when you choose to be. It's selective outrage. It's selective empathy. You only care when it's the guy that you hate doing things to people. When it's the guy that you love, you find 1,000,001 excuses to excuse them from those actions. And that's pretty freaking embarrassing.
Yeah. So there you go. All right. That's that one. I got a few more here. We'll see how many we get through. Let's see. What's the next one? Okay. Oh, some of these are from this morning. Oh, this one is some footage of Milton Friedman, excuse me. And this is called A Blueprint for Doge. I love this. Let's just check this one out. Oops, not that one. I'm going to go middle. There we go. All right, here's the Milton Friedman clip.
Department of Agriculture.
Abolish.
Gone. Department of Commerce.
Abolish.
Gone. Department of Defense.
Keep.
Keep it. Department of Education.
Abolish.
Bye.
Energy.
Abolish.
Housing.
Except that energy ties in with the military.
Well, then we shove it under defense.
That's
the little bit that handles the nuclear,
that ought to go under
plutonium and so forth goes under defense, but we abolish the rest of it. Health and Human Services.
There is room for some public health activities to prevent contagion, such a thing as, for example.
So you'd keep the National Institutes of Health, say, and the Center for Disease Control down in
not the
Atlanta?
National Institute.
No?
Those are mostly research agencies. No. That's a question
Which we could get
of whether the
research
government should be involved in financing research.
And the answer is no.
Well, that's a very complicated issue, and it's not an easy answer with respect to that.
We'll eliminate half of the Department of Health and Human Services?
Like that.
Okay, 1/2. There we go. Housing and Urban Development?
Out.
Couldn't even pause over that one. Department of the Interior.
Oh, well, but Housing and Urban Development has done an enormous amount of harm. My God. If you think of the way in which they've destroyed parts of cities under the rubric of eliminating slums.
Which they just created them. They just made more slums. Anyway, hello, Select Boy. Yeah, boy. All right. Next, almost got to wrap this up here, but we'll get there. For those of you just getting here, I have to end the show a little bit early today. Unfortunately, we have a funeral to go to. So, let's see. Here's one. I don't know if I did a Doge report one. This is another Doge report one. This is on Doge. I like this one. I almost want to sell t-shirts using these videos. So, here we go. Let's see. Let's just get it ready here. And there we go. All right. Yeah, I like this one. This is a lot of people are doing videos on Doge. Some are talking about different things that they've done. This is another healthcare one, though. Oh, shoot.
You should be concerned about.
Let's try not this one. There we go.
The Doge report, healthcare edition. So just found that the U.S. healthcare corporations spent 95% of their income to shareholder payouts.
Now, my question when I saw this is, what is the U.S. Healthcare Corporation? Because they somehow they are government funded, but I had never heard of this before. So, let's see, the Healthcare Service. What is the Healthcare Service Corporation? It's somehow related to Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Company founded by visionaries care using the Blue Cross Blue Shield models. The Blue Cross. Is this it? Largest customer-owned healthcare insurer in the United States. Providing, here it is. Providing access to care nationwide through our plans in Illinois, Montana, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Texas. With our broad portfolio of companies, we offer products and service. I don't know if this is the same thing she's talking about. I gotta assume this is something for a government agency. But anyway, let's go back to the video here.
Not on more research.
They spent 95% of their funding on payouts to shareholders.
Not on staffing issues, not on infrastructure, but shareholder payouts. That totaled about $2.6 trillion.
Trillion! With a T!
Over the last 20 years.
With a T!
Fun fact, the U.S. taxpayers pay about 70% of those
Hi, K-Show.
fees.
Hi, TC.
Also just breaking, if that wasn't enough to make it too fit to be tied, 2.7 trillion, again, $2.7 trillion has been improperly paid out in Medicare and Medicaid to people outside of our country.
Which cannot be done.
I hope you heard me. I didn't say
$2.7 trillion.
I didn't say billion. I said $2.7 trillion of taxpayer money has been improperly paid in Medicare and Medicaid to people outside of the United States.
I think this is over a 10-year period, I believe.
Thank God for Doge, for exposing this, for showing you how they are robbing us blind and like wasting our money and lining their pockets. More to come.
Okay. Now, and again, I'm not know who she means by the U.S. Health Corporation, so I'm still got to figure that one out. But the fact that they're paying, that this is what they found, and again, it's not in 1 year, obviously, but over this period of time. Hello, Pepper Smiles, by the way. All right, I got time for one or two more. Let's do at least one for sure. Actually, let's do this one. Hang on a second. I want to make sure I have all these in the links today too, so I will have these in the links. We saw this guy yesterday talking about one drug, and I said, imagine how what is $550 million that they paid out in 1 year for just one drug, which if they'd have paid the actual price, it would have been about $10 million. Well, he's got a list of them, and here's another. So he's going to go through another one today, and I these are actually very good, so I like these. Hang on a second. There we go. Here it is. Another drug which we are overpaying through Medicare, Medicaid.
Dawg and Elon are looking at Medicare.
He still doesn't know how to say Doge, though.
So let's see if I can help him out. So far this week, we found perfenadone, which they're overpaying for by
$660 million
a year, and dimethyl fumarate that they're overpaying for by $580
so there's
million.
There's $1 billion, just
Today,
two drugs.
Let's add imatinib. Medicare's paying $2,400 for each prescription.
Are they the little pills in the bottle half gold is what I'm wondering. But again, this is because it's like college costs. If someone else will pay it, they'll charge as much as they can for it. That's what's happening to college tuitions. Someone else pays for it. They get a loan from the government, so someone else will pay it. So we'll just charge more and make them pay more because the government's going to give you the money no matter what. That's kind of like with the Medicare. Yesterday it was a $65 prescription that they were paying $3,300 or $3,800 for a $65 prescription if you just paid for it out of pocket. But Medicare pays $3,800 per prescription. That's fucking insane.
They did that 250,000 times, meaning they spent $600 million on just that one med in only 1 year. At my pharmacy, without insurance, that same prescription cost $17. At that price, it would cost Medicare $4 million
Oh my God.
total for the whole country. Medicare is paying $596 million too much for just that med alone. Between those three meds, we're up to $1.8 billion saved. And the cool part is, we didn't cut any benefits. Everybody still gets all their medication. All we have to do is cancel the contracts of the middleman who charges Medicare those ridiculous prices. That's the pharmacy benefits manager. Let's kick them out and make some changes.
All right. So just on those three drugs. That's just three drugs. Do you know how many drugs old people take? I mean, they had my doctor had my father-in-law before he died. It was on like, I think 9 or no, about 11 different medications. You know, my mother-in-law, I mean, they finally figured out how to pare hers down to 3. But this is crazy. And they're paying that much per prescription. And I have gone in one time and didn't have any information and had to pay for something out of pocket. It was like $3. Paid it out of pocket. I have no idea how much the insurance, and that's not just Medicare. It's also the insurance companies. They're also doing this. They're paying, 20, 30 times what you would pay for it if you just paid for it out of pocket. And in some states, and I'm not sure if it's every state, but a lot of states, it's illegal if you have insurance or Medicare or Medicaid, it's illegal for the pharmacist to tell you what the cost of that would be out of pocket. It's just freaking crazy. And they're literally barred from doing that. All right. That's all I'm going to do because I can't be late today. So I will put oh wait, one more. This one's funny. Thank you, Reaction Puerto Rico, for saying this. Let's go out on a lighter note here. This is just a little fun one that's talking about elections, and it's a comedy routine from the Laugh Factory. So here it is.
Talking about Kamala, we almost had a female president. Very close. Yeah. We almost had one. And people
almost not.
Always say, a female president is good.
Is it though?
Because a female president never start a war, right?
Hello, Bishop.
When was the last time a woman started a fight? Never.
Now they should have been laughing at that. They don't start the fight between each other. They start the fight between you and somebody else. Okay, now they're laughing.
I think a female president will start a war on other country, but the other country will have to guess what they did wrong.
That's funny.
A female president will start a war on other country over something they did wrong 5 years ago.
I should not be laughing at this. This is not funny. This is not funny. Nope, not funny.
You know what you did, Zimbabwe? I think a female president will start a war on other country because this country was talking to another country behind her back in her dreams.
No, that's not funny.
I had so much hate from this joke. People were like, you are not a feminist. No, I am a feminist. I had a daughter and I kept her.
Oh, snap! Okay, there you go. All right. That's a good one. Okay, guys, I'm going to close these links over here because I didn't need them. And there we go. All right, gang. I also have the aggregate. There's a lot of news in the aggregator today, like there's every day, but I just, I have to, if I try to do all the news that I found in a day, I would never end the show because there's just tons. There's always stuff to talk about, stuff to read about. But I kind of like doing these video days. I think we're going to do more of these. What is taking this so long? What the hell is going on here? Damn computer. Okay, come on, today. Okay, there we go. Maybe. No, that didn't do it either. What the hell? Let's see. Hopefully, by the way, I probably should have checked this. I didn't check the links yesterday. If those videos, if you click those links, did it go straight to the video? I hope it did, because I had them in another tab. Okay, I can't get this to work. Anyway, I'll put the links will be in the description today because I'm having computer problems. So anyway, I hope you all have a great day. If you liked the show today, hit the like button. If you didn't like the show today, hit the damn like button. Oh crap! Now what hell? What's going on here? Good Lord! All right, we'll keep that. Anyway, you have a great day. I gotta go. My name is PDawgKnight. I'm out of here. See you tomorrow. Bye bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thanks for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.